everybody, it's Kathy Champion at Random Acts of Crafting, and you are welcomed back to my craft room at Random Acts of Crafting. I think I already said that, but nevertheless, what we're going to do today is I am going to do a simple but hopefully a card that's going to make an impact, and I need a thank you card. So I pulled out some paper, and here's some papers that I thought just looked beautiful together, and these came out of this butterfly blossoms and butterfly stack, and I believe I think the first one of these that I bought, I found at, I believe, Michael's. I'm not sure, because maybe it was Joann's, but anyway, this one actually I came across it at Tuesday Morning. So I don't know if your Tuesday Morning would have this, but this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous stack of paper. I mean, just look at those colors. Aren't they gorgeous? I love it. It's foil, some of it's glitter, it's bright colors, and it's just a lovely paper pack. And I love the way the green and the blue and the brown kind of all coordinate. I decided that I wanted to make my card base out of this piece of blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this out. I think I trimmed this down to 5.5, so I need this to be 8.5 so that we can make an A2 size card. So I'm going to bring out my trimmer, and I'm going to put, oops, I don't want to cut that. I am going to put this in at 8.5, making sure that I'm in frame so you can see what I'm doing. 8.5, and I'm just going to slice that little piece off. And this will give us our A2 size card. So what I'm going to do with this before I go any further is I'm going to score. So bring up my scoreboard, and I want to score this at 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Let's see, that is 8.5. So 4 1/4 will be half of it. So right there. Just like so. I'll bend it back and then onto itself. And I'm going to go ahead and crease this down. This is a very heavy cardstock. There's the flip test. I mean, it's a nice quality cardstock. So if you are able to grab a piece of this in your Tuesday Morning, I would tell you, I mean, the quality of this paper is awesome. Now, it is one-sided, but a lot of times with card making, we don't need two-sided paper. So what I'm going to do now is I need some strips. I need some strips that are going to be, and I actually found this sketch, and if you go to Pinterest, you go to card sketches, you can find all kinds of layouts. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 of these that's cut at 4 by 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1 inch off of here, and I'm just going to bring it to right here, making sure that I'm lined up nice and straight. And I always check when I'm cutting to make sure that it's even, and I'm on the 1 inch line at the top and the bottom, because sometimes it's very easy to get your paper crooked in your cutter and in your trimmer, and if your paper is crooked, you will never ever get a straight fold or a straight cut. So I'm going to cut that at 1. Now I know I need 3 of these at 4 inches. So I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off my 4 inches, which is right to there. And that's going to be 1 and 2. And I think this will be 3. Just about. Just a hair off of that one. And there's our 3 strips. So I also need to cut off of this pretty brown piece the same thing. I need 1 strip at 1 inch. Let's see, I don't think we need that arm out, which will give us a little bit more room. So I am going to bring this, just like I did before, to the 1 and to the 1 here. making sure that it's straight from the top to the bottom. I'm going to lay my arm down and I'm going to slice. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut my strips at 4 inches. One. And this one we only need 2. And I think I want more of this blue on it, so I'm going to turn it this way and get a little bit more of that blue. Okay, now we've got that done, so we will come back and cut some more pieces, but I want to show you exactly what my plan is with these strips. I am going to put these strips down like so with just a tiny bit. I'm going to open my card up so it will lay flat, and I just want just a tiny bit of that border to show, and I'm going to alternate the green and the brown just like this. And once we get these on here, then we are going to glue them down. Just like so. Can you see how much interest that's going to give to this card? I love this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my art glitter glue because I do want a little bit of wiggle room on these. And I am going to just get a little glue on that, and I am going to just come in, giving myself ever so slight border at the top, just like that. And I'm going to press that down really well. And I'm going to do the same thing for the next piece. I'll tell you what, let's do it like this so we can get them even in the middle. Let's glue the last one down, and then we'll put the ones in the middle and even them up accordingly. That way we won't have a gap at the bottom. And these are things you have to kind of think ahead when you're building a card. These sketches do not give you instructions. They give you the pattern of the card. And then you kind of work with it. So I am going to lay this one here. And this one here. I think I want it like that. Okay, let's glue this one down. And again, this is going to be a simple, fast card that you can put together. And actually, I am making this for my physician's assistant. I gave my physician, my surgeon that did my foot surgery, a card last time. The girl that scheduled my surgery in the office, I gave her one when I went in for my pre-op. And I thought, I want to give my surgeon's assistant a thank you card because they treated me so well. I was just so blessed by having a good team of people that showed so much care for me. And you'll be surprised just how much just a little gesture of a card, just to say I appreciate you and I thank you, it can do. So that's who this card is for. And, you know, think about that when you're doing your cards. A lot of times people say, I don't have anybody to give a card to. We all have people to give a card to. So there is the front of that card. Now we are going to, following through with this sketch, I am going to mat a piece in blue right up here in the top. And this piece needs to be 2 by 3. So let's get our trimmer out. And I am going to cut this at 2 by 3 inches. Let's see. Oops. You don't want to throw it all over the floor, but hey, do what you got to do. Alright, let's do it here. 2, and let's see if this is 3. It is over 3, so that's good. So I'm going to cut the 2 inches off this way. Oops. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to cut a piece of brown butter. I think I have a scrap piece of the brown butter over here. I do. I think this brown is going to look stunning on top of that. It matches perfect. So I'm going to do this one 2 by 3. Maybe 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. I want it a little bit bigger. So let's do it like that. 2¼ by 3¼ You do not have to stick to the sketch. You can improvise. But now that's covering up way too much of my card. Alright, so I'm going to regroup. I think what I want to do is maybe cut an oval to put right there. So let me get my die cut machine out and some dies. And let's see what we're going to do. Again, like I tell y'all so many times, this is my thought process when I'm doing a card. I never know which way I'm going to go with it. Even though I'm looking at a sketch that's telling me to put a piece here with another piece. Let's put this together just to see what it's going to look like. We'll try it. All right, this was 2¼ by 3¼ so we're going to do this at 2 by 3. 2 by 3. And there you go. You know, I think I like that. And I can stamp on this piece. I think I am going to go with the sketch. I changed my mind, then I changed my mind, then I changed my mind again. What is that cliche? It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. And I definitely did several times over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get a stamp. And I want to stamp on this first. And I want to decide, do I want to do this little cattywampus? No, I'm thinking I'm going to do it the traditional way, the way it's suggested, which is like that. So do I want to pop that up? I do think I want to pop that up on some foam. But let me grab my stamp set that I want to use. Let's see, maybe this one might work. Let's see, I think that's going to be a little bit, that's too big for there. This is a new stamp set that I just got. So let me grab some stamp sets and I will be right back. Hang tight. Okay everybody, I am back and I did go and pull a few stamp sets. And this stamp set right here, I do not even remember. I think that this was given to me in Happy Mail, if I'm not mistaken. And it has a beautiful thank you. I love that font. I should put a piece of white paper behind it so you can see it. There you go. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm going to use that. I think I really want that to be on the front because it just says exactly what my sentiment is thank you. Because, you know, it isn't very often that we are treated well. And I think when somebody is nice to you, that we need to respond in a positive way. And that's exactly what I am wanting to do with sending this or giving this card to my doctor's assistant. And I'm not going to say her name. She is just a doll baby. She makes every patient feel like she knows you personally. And that's a gift. So I am going to stamp this right in the middle. And I really want a nice, good stamp on here. So I'm just going to let that absorb into the paper. Pressing down good. And there we go. That's pretty. Alrighty, I'm going to bring my stamp over here. I cleaned my little pad. Now, this is my pad completely clean. I washed it this morning, but it is ink stained. But I guarantee you this is completely clean. There's no ink on it. I can rub my hand on it. Nothing comes off. It's stained, but it is clean. So when I tell people it's clean, they look at me like I'm crazy because it does not look clean. But I love these. This is a Brutus Monroe, and it's like a squeaky clean. It's the squeaky clean jumbo stamp scrubber with removable cleaning pad. You can take this out, take it straight to the sink, wash it, and bring it back and put it in. And it cleans up really good. Even though it's stained, it still cleans really good. So I'm going to scrub that stamp off over here so that it's taken care of. And now I am going to give this a little interest, I'm going to use my scallop punch, and I'm just going to take it and put it in and just punch this, because I think it's just going to add a little bit of character to this. It's going to give these edges a pretty little pattern. Oh, and I smudged my ink. Oh no. Mono sander to the rescue. Where is my mono sander? There it is. Now I hope I can clean this up. I am so famous for smudging my ink because I am impatient. I'm sure that some of you can relate to that, because we do get a little impatient when we are wanting something to come together like yesterday. So I'm going to try to glue this down without getting the ink all over me. Oops, I let my ink sit too long. I mean my ink. This is not ink, this is glue. Oh, goodness gracious. Sometimes my mouth gets way ahead of my brain. So, there we go. Finally broke it loose. Alright, and I'm going to try not to mash that in the middle. I am going to try to get this on here where we got a nice little border all the way around. Just like so. I love that. I love it. I think I got to drag a little bit of the ink right there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't normally do this, but so I don't do this ink anymore, I'm going to grab my heat gun and I'm going to dry that just a little bit. I don't normally do this with just ink, but I have run my hand through that ink enough for one day. Alright, and a little heat tool can come in handy for, I lay this under my work table because I've got one of those folding tables and I've got metal brackets that hold the legs up, and that's where I keep my heat tool, because even when it's warm, it's safe for me to sit it right there. So I'm going to pop this up on some foam tape, and I'm using the Scotch double-sided foam tape. And I am going to cut a couple pieces, about like this. Again, I'm going to try not to smudge that ink. Let's see if it's dry now. It's still a little bit wet. Even though I use my heat gun on it, it's still a little bit on the damp side. So I'm just going to cut another piece about the same length and put it right there, just like that. And I think that's plenty of tape to pop this up on. So I'm going to pull the backer off. Let me put my tape back down here, and we're going to get a little pokey tool. And again, I do need to lay this down so I can pop this off, but I don't want to smudge that ink. I want to give it time enough to lay and dry, and there we go. And I am going to put this right about here. Or do I want to put it up like that? Or right in the middle? Now my sketch shows it at one side, but I'm not sure if I want it there. I think I do. I think I'm going to put it right there. And now I'm going to mat the inside, and let's see if we have some more of that blue. No, but I've got that beautiful green, so I think I'm going to mat it in a piece of this green and maybe a light blue piece of solid to stamp on. I think that will be gorgeous. So I am going to, while I'm thinking about it, I am going to go ahead and put my pen back in my glue so I don't get a clump again. And we are going to cut a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4 because we know that's the mat size that we need for an A2 size card. 4. And that sounded like a rough cut, but that's because this paper is glittered. It has this beautiful glitter on it. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? It is just a gorgeous piece of paper. Okay, by 5 1/4. And I'm going to bring my card back over, and I'm going to mount that right there. But in the meantime, let me see if I have a piece of light blue. And that is perfect. So I want that to be just a little smaller than that piece. So it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Now this is a cheaper paper, and you can see that it frays. And like I have told some of you before, if you find your paper is fraying and your blade is sharp, you know your blade is sharp, it's probably the quality of your paper. And there's really nothing that we can do about that except use better quality paper. But I do have a lot of the Astro Bright that I bought, and I'm not saying it's bad paper. It's really good paper, but it doesn't always cut with a clean finish. So I am going to say on this one, let's see, I want it to be something, every day might not be a good day, but there's something good in every day. I like that one. And let's see, I had one more, thanks. And I think inside I'm going to say, thanks for your kindness. And I think this is what I want it to say, because she has been very kind to me. So I am going to say, thanks. And I'm going to put it up here, just like that. And I'm going to put this right under here. And I'm going to kind of bump them together so they look like one stamp. And then I'm going to pick them up all on one stamp, just like that. And I'm going to ink these up again with my VersaFine. And I'm hoping I won't get it quite as juicy as I did that first one. Let's see how this does. There we go. And we're going to clean this stamp off. And I love the way that stamped out. That is gorgeous. So now I'm going to go ahead and sign this card, because when I glue it down, it's going to be on this rough surface, and my signature might not look as nice. So thanks for your kindness. You always made me feel special. Okay, so now I can go ahead and get this in, and I think I'm just going to use my ATG gun for this, and I'm going to put a amount of adhesive right there. And if you have any that hangs over, just kind of pull it back onto itself just like you would your sticky tape. There's going to be a little bit right there, but I wanted to get it as close to the edge as I possibly can, because you don't want those edges to pop up. That's one thing that you want when you're making a card. You don't want to give it to somebody and then it fall apart on them. in my early card making days, that was always a fear, that I would make a card that would not hold up. But, you know, that fear kind of leaves you as you make more and more cards. So, sorry for the frog in my throat. Let me move that stamp set out of my way. And we are going to go do the same thing here. And we'll run it right to there, right to here, down, got off the edge there just a little bit. And let's see if we can get this on here nice and even. Got a little bit of that adhesive hanging over, so I'm just going to roll it back with my finger. And I'm going to put this right about there. And a cute little thank you card that we did in just a matter of 13 minutes. I mean, that is a quick card, a quick video, and voila, it is done. Now all I got to do is make a cute little envelope for this, and we are done. Okay, well, thank y'all so much for watching, for tuning in. I hope that this little card would be something that you would want to make. It came together really quick. It was a very, very simple card, but I think it makes a statement, and I love these little stripes with the different color paper, and especially the way everything coordinates together. So if you happen to make this card, be sure to go over to our Facebook group, Random Acts of Crafting by Kathy Champion. And the reason I have by Kathy Champion, there was so many other websites out there that was just Random Acts of Crafting. Now I am working on a blog, and I've got some other things in the mix that will be coming up pretty soon, and I have an exciting announcement that will be coming up. But just kind of bear with me for a little bit, and we have got a lot of changes that are coming up and things that I'm so excited about. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, and you can be notified every time that I put a video up. And I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And as I always tell you, be a blessing to someone and let your light shine. The only way that people can see and know Jesus is through the love that you show them, and that is our commission, to share his love with others. So let everything that you do and say bring glory to him, because he is so worthy. And happy crafting. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.